So today's topic is account structure. So as I told you yesterday, account structure is a combination of main accounts and financial dimensions. So we can plan how the dimensions or which dimension values has to be applicable for the main accounts or a combination of main accounts. Suppose I have different main accounts, like I have expense accounts, revenue accounts, inventory accounts, assets accounts, balance sheet accounts, and liabilities accounts. So I have different categories in main accounts. So which category of main accounts need which financial dimensions, or do they need all the financial dimensions that we have created? So we have created three financial dimensions yesterday. So what are the three financial dimensions we have created yesterday? Created MRF locations, MRF departments, and MRF cost centers. Three. Suppose for my balance sheet accounts, I only need location as well as the department. But for my profit and loss accounts, I need three of them. So in that case, how we can achieve such scenario, or how we can configure our account structure in such scenario? First, let us see how we can configure the account structure. Later, we see the scenarios. Okay. So I am here in this environment. I'll change my legal entity back to MRF. So MRF. I'll try to duplicate this tab. In the duplicate tab, I'll open the financial dimensions that we have created yesterday. So navigation to financial. So we have all the list here. So I'll search with MRF. Okay. So I see three of them: MRF location, department, and cost center. So these are arranged according to the alphabetical order. Since MRF is common in all the three of them, the C, D, L will be the next criteria. So they're arranged in this way actually. So it doesn't matter, but we will arrange them according to our need in our account structure. So it's location, department, and cost center that we have created yesterday. Now we'll see how we can configure an account structure. So these account structures are key in selection. These account structures are key in defining or giving dictation to the system or conditions to the system, which main account should use which financial dimensions, and which main account should use which financial dimension values also. Okay, suppose I'll show you the configuration and we'll go to the examples. Okay, so to configure the account structure, we have to go to general ledger again. It's again under chart of accounts. In chart of accounts, we have these structures here. Under structures, I have configure account structures. This one. So write down the navigation, general ledger, chart of accounts, structures, and configure account structures. So learning the navigations is important. So whenever somebody asks you, either in job or in interview, you have to directly say them that if at all they ask you the navigation of account structure or configuration of account structures, you can say that general ledger, chart of account structures, and account structures. Most of the employees or most of the consultant don't know this also. If you learn this properly, then you will have you will be understood as a person who is having good hands-on on this Dynamics tool. Okay. So I am clicking here on configure account structures. So I have few account structures that were configured, actually lot of account structures for different legal entities. So as I told you yesterday, account structure can be used for multiple legal entities also. One account structure can be used for multiple legal entities. But you can create separate account structures for separate legal entities according to the requirement of the client. Okay, first I'm creating one account structure. To create one account structure, I have to click here on new on the top. Click new. Give a name to this account structure. I'll give the name to this account structure as MRF account structure. So okay, I'll just give the same description here, MRF account structure. And here this field add main account is, most of them will use it as yes only, so it should be yes, because It's a combination of main account plus dimension values, right? So mostly we will have main account in the initial place, and then it will be followed by the dimensions. So we'll see how. So this add main account is kept as yes, and I am creating one. Okay, I just clicked on you, gave the name and the same description, and kept as add main account here, and I'm clicking on create. So if I click on create, I see this is created actually. We'll discuss step by step. First I'll discuss this menu, so next this menu, and later, I mean first this, later this, and next this menu, and later the top menu. We'll see one by one, step by step. So here it selected star mark. Star mark means all the main accounts. So all the main accounts are valid. Whatever the main accounts you have in the chart of accounts, so those will be valid. You will link chart of accounts plus this account structure to a legal entity. So it will work according to the chart of account and the account numbers in the chart of accounts and this account structure that you have configured here. So in our chart of account, the number series, what we gave the number series. So we did not link all of them yet, but still we are configuring our planning, right? So we will go with the same number sequences that we have got, the same number format that we have given for our main accounts. So 1 lakh to 9 lakh 999. I am using all the main accounts here. Okay. So we'll go step by step. We can also break this chain on the give segment by segment. We'll see that. But here the condition is that I am giving for all main accounts. Then here I have some options: add or remove or duplicate or validate, add segment and segment actions. First, let us see this. Later we'll come back here. Okay. So as I told you, the basic definition of account structure or the purpose of account structure is to combine the main accounts with financial dimensions. So we have added main accounts here, the series of main accounts that are applicable for this account structure. So we have to add financial dimensions as well. So in order to add financial dimensions, we have this option here, add segment. You can see it here, add segment option. So if I click on add segment, on the side I can see all the financial dimensions that I have in my system. And most important is all of them should be active. If they are active, then only I can see all of them here. So these three that we have created yesterday, all of them are in status active, so that I can see them in the list here. So here where we can see it, we will go for MRF with the M series. So here we have three: cost center, department, and MRF location, MRF department, and MRF cost center. So we have to arrange our financial dimensions in such a way that the broader one will comes first and the next, I mean it comes level by level. So if at all we see cost center, department, and location, the broader one is location, because within a location we have an office, and within that office again we'll have department, right? So the broader one will be location, the next one will be department, and cost center is an additional one actually. It can't be considered as a broader one or smaller scope, but it can be a separate financial dimension. So let the cost center be in the last. So I am selecting MRF location first here. So I click on MRF location and click on add segment here, so that MRF location will be appearing here. Okay. So now I want to add another financial dimension along with this. So the next financial dimension I want to add, I'll click on add segment here. Then I can see the other two MRF dimensions that are here. I'll select this MRF department next. Just click on it and click on add segment. So it will be added here. Again, I'll click on add segment. I'll also select this MRF cost center. It's here. Click here and click on add segment. See, all the three are added. Now I see this option star mark. Star mark indicates again all values are accepted. So whenever I select any of this main account for any transaction purpose, I can give any of the location value. I can give any of the department value. I can give any of the cost center value in the combination of these main accounts. If I use any main account from this series, I can give any value from these three financial dimension values. So under location we have values, right? What all values we have under location? Hyderabad, Bangalore. So all like that we have. So we have also have numbers 100, 101, 102, and 103, which means Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and Mumbai. So if at all I select give star here, by default it will say star. Star means whenever I do any transaction, I can give any value from these four values of locations. I can select any values. I can't ignore it by ignore with not selecting any value. So suppose if I'm using any main account here and I'm doing any transaction, I should definitely select one of the location value if it is star mark. You cannot leave it blank. You cannot just go without selecting the value. You cannot post any transaction without selecting a location value. Any main account if you use from this series, you have to definitely give one of the location value to that main account. Yesterday I have showed you, right, in journal creation. You should definitely give that value and then you have to proceed with the transaction posting later. So if at all you want to leave it blank or you want the liberty to leave it blank since you don't want to use any location value, for that you have to enable this option. So down you have blank values are allowed. You have to click here on the location, then click on blank values are allowed. Then what happens is this additional symbols will be added. This symbols double columns, two double columns indicates blank values and this one in between, this indicates actually, I mean this symbol indicates and. The in between symbol indicates and. So now what happens is you can select any of the value from these four values of MRF location, or you can also leave it as blank, but the system will allow for you for the transaction posting. So you gave the condition here. This one blank values are allowed. But for department, again, you have to select one of the value compulsorily. You can select all the values in that you can, I mean, you can select any of the value from the existing four values for departments, finance, HR, sales and marketing and operations while doing a transaction. But you should compulsorily select one of the value. Without selecting or with empty value, you cannot post a transaction. System will not allow you further to post a transaction. So that's the condition here. So for this, if you want to allow blank, you can click here on blank values are allowed. So that's one. Again, the same for cost center. You can select one. So okay, whenever we do any transaction, first we have to select a main account, then we have to select the location, then the department, then the cost center. The hierarchy or the line of selection will be like this. First main account, then location, then department, and then cost center. So my friend Susila is having a doubt yesterday that I only want to select two locations here. I don't want all the values, neither I don't want to leave it blank. Okay, I only want to select two locations. So if the star mark indicates that I can select all the locations in any journal while I am doing a transaction, but I don't want that kind of condition. I want only two location values that I have to select. Although I have four, but I only use two values for now. So for that, how you can configure is you can configure 100 and this symbol is there, right? So this symbol is and symbol. That full stop and comma, yes, both of them is having what we call a semicolon, right?
Semicolon.
Semicolon. So that semicolon symbol is you can select here 100 and 101. So that only two values are allowed. Whenever you do any transaction, you can select one of the values, either 100 or 101, and you cannot leave blank also since you don't have this blank symbol right here. So if you want that blank symbol, again you can select it here. And again you see this blank symbol here. So you can either select these two values or you can leave it blank while you are doing a transaction using this main account, any of the main account from these main accounts. So that's my condition and that's how I can give it. So I can also give it like this 100 to 101. So you don't have anything in between, right? So 100 and 101 will be selected. This indicates that is between and includes. So you can see the condition name here actually. So generally if I click here, so E is like star, MRF department is like star means all the values are allowed or any value can be selected from the department. So if I click here means, so you can see MRF location is between and includes. This double dots indicate is between and includes. Is between and includes 100 and 101, 100 to 101 actually. Since we don't have any number in between, you don't get any. But if I change it to 102 suppose, and if I just come back here and click here, refresh, see here, location is in between and includes 100 and 102. which means I can select either 100, 101 or 102, or I can also leave it as blank since I have this option, blank values allowed option here. If I remove the blank values allowed option, I see only 100 to 102, which means I want to select any one of the value from the three values, either 100 or 101 or 102. So that conditions we have here is between and includes, begins with, ends with, is between, is greater than and includes, lot of options we have. Suppose I start with begins with and begins with 100. If I select here, if I click on apply, it's not applying. Actually, is begins with 100 and I click on apply. So here you see 100 and star, which means 100, not and symbol is not there. 100 is included with star, which means any number that starts with 100 will be selected. So any number that starts with 100 is only 100, right? So you can't post any. So suppose if I say any number that starts with 1, so 100, 101, 102, 103, everything starts with 1, right? So I can select any value that starts with 1. If at all in locations also I have two series numbers like 201, 202 like that, then those cannot be selected. Only one series can be selected. So that's a kind of condition. Nobody will use these many conditions for the dimensions actually. So for dimensions, either they will use star or is between and includes. One of them they will use. That's all. So I select a condition here and I can apply here. So you can either change it here directly if you know the symbols, or you can give the condition here and click on apply so that the symbols and the condition will be applied here. Either ways. So both of them will work in the same way. So this one and this one. And if you want blank values allowed option, you can select this one and you see this extra symbol added here. Blank values also will be added. So this is how we can construct a single line account structure. We can also construct multi-line account structure. That's that we can see now how we can create. Suppose that I have my cash accounts from 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10. So okay, only for my cash accounts, I always want finance department only. Okay, I don't want any other department whenever I do transaction with cash account. Cash account. Suppose I have 10 cash accounts totally, 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10. So for only for those accounts, I want to give this finance department as a condition. So how can we achieve that is the question mark here. So in that case, what you can do is you can only give the account criteria as 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10 here. And what you can do is you can change this MRF department and what is the finance department value. So go to department and go to dimension values. Finance department value is 200. So what I'll do is I'll give 200 here. So for the remaining, I'll give everything is allowed and blank value is also allowed. So right. Only for 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10. But for the remaining accounts, again, I'll give a condition now. So for that, I'll add here. I'll add another line. So for the remaining accounts, right? Remaining accounts will start from 1 lakh 11 to 99999. So I can give different conditions here. So I can give all the values allowed here. So here I can give all the values allowed. Here I can give all the values and blanks are also allowed. But for these 10 accounts or 11 accounts actually, including 0 to 10. So all these accounts, whenever I do any transaction using one of these accounts, always the department value should be finance only. You cannot select anything other than finance and system will not allow you to select and post a transaction other than finance department. And you should compulsorily select finance department. You can't leave blank also since you don't have blank values are allowed condition also applied here. So that's one of the way you can divide and give separate financial dimension or value for individual accounts. But in case I have lot of sub individual accounts for which I have to give this separate dimension value. Suppose for one account I want one, for other account I want one, like that I have 100. For you can create 100 lines if you want, but that's not a recommended way to create 100 lines. For that we have another process called as advanced rules. We'll discuss that at the end of general lecture actually. Okay, or else for each main account you can give default dimensions also under legal entity overrides. We have seen that topic. We'll again rewind that topic once we create all these things. But account structure also gives you feasibility to divide your main accounts or the series of main accounts and give different conditions for your financial dimensions combinations along with those set of main accounts. Got some clarity, guys? It will be a little confusing initially, but this is one of the main topic or the one that controls the entire accounting process in the dynamics. So this account structure controls conditions here controls the total accounting process. So you have to clearly understand this. So this is an entirely different company, different account structure and different conditions. Okay, I'm just trying to show you an example. That's all. So go with an assumptions only. So here in our account structure, I gave a condition like, and if I use any account from 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10, any account from these 11 accounts, always the department value should be 200 or which is finance department only. Okay, so we have given 200 dimension value for finance department, right? So suppose if I go to journal and select any of the account from that particular number, like from 1 lakh. So I don't have that 1 lakh account also. But I assume that this is the account that falls into that. Okay, it falls into that range. So here I see department, right? Normally I see all the financial dimension values here, the department values. But in case if I frame a condition like this, for this particular main accounts, I only see finance only. The other will be the other dimension values will disappear. I only see finance here, value number 200 and finance, and I can select only that finance. That's all. If at all I don't select, also system will give me a warning message saying that it's not selected or necessary financial dimension is not selected. You can't proceed ahead with the journal posting without selecting that financial dimension value. So that's how system will control it or control the users while posting the transactions. It will force them to select the dimension value that is given as a condition here. Return loss, I can give one condition and I can add my this balance sheet accounts, right? So for profit and loss, I can give one more. So my profit and loss starts from 5 lakhs. So I can give 5 lakhs to 7 lakh 999, right? So generally 5 series will be expenses, 6 series will be revenues, or that's how we did, right? Or 5 series are revenues and 6 series are expenses, something. So 5, 6 and 7. So other profit and loss also. For that I have different conditions here, you can see. So I can give it like this. So I want to give separate conditions for one account, 6 lakhs 999. Okay. So I want to give value number 201, which is HR department, right? So I want to give only HR department for this single account whenever I do transactions. Okay, assume that this is a payroll expense account and I always want to give HR department for this whenever I do transactions using this account. So how I can break this like this. So until 5 lakh to 6 lakh 9998, I can give separate conditions. And for 6 lakhs only this account, I can give this condition. And again, for the remaining series, I can give other conditions. If at all I want any other conditions, I can give here. Okay. So this is one way. There is also another way other than this. So you can give the normal series only 5 lakh to 799, but for the single account, we can create an advanced rule. That advanced rule we can indicate that this for this main account we only need 201 value. So that will override the condition here, allow all values for this main account and will only allow one value for that main account. So we will see that advanced rules configuration later, but you can use either account structure. I mean, you can break it like this. Most of the clients don't want to make the account structure look clumsy or break it like this for individual accounts. So for that purpose, they'll maintain advanced rules actually. Okay, but this one also will work definitely. I mean, this way also it will work. But if at all I have to give for 20 or 30 accounts, I can't give like I can't create 30 lines, right? I can create, but it will look clumsy. When you look at your account structure, you can't identify where the account is or where the issue is. So it would be
Okay.
difficult if you have multiple lines. For my balance sheet accounts, I want location and department. Only location and department. For other accounts, for profit and loss accounts, I want cost center as well. But for my balance sheet accounts, like from 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999, I only want location and department. I don't want cost center to be displayed in journals while creating journals also. So how can I do that? I can't keep it blank also. If I keep it blank, by default it will pick the star mark automatically. I can't make it blank also. So
Have
for
to
that,
remove that.
yeah, for that purpose, we have another way. We can create two account structures, one for profit and loss and one for balance sheet accounts. And you can link the two account structures to legal entity. Actually, you can create as many account structures as you want, but generally they'll create two or three, mostly two or three, or they'll go for one also. If at all for all the accounts they are allowing all the dimensions, or they want to maintain all the financial dimensions, they can go with one account structure. But according to my situation that I explained you, for my balance sheet accounts, I only need location and department. For my profit and loss accounts, I need everything, or I need all the three of them, location, department, as well as cost center. In that case, I can create a different account structure as MRF balance sheet separately. So I'll show you how to create that. I will show you at the end of the class. So when I create for these two accounts, then I mean this series of accounts for the balance sheet accounts, I can ignore this cost center adding segment. I can only add two segments. That's all. But for the remaining accounts, I can have three segments usually. So that's one. So here I have few options. You can see this option. I have this remove option. So this remove option, if I select this remove option, what happens is it will remove this line. So it is asking me either I would want to remove. Yes, I say, and it will remove this line. If at all I click on add, it will add another line. Then again, I can give conditions here also if at all I need anything. If I want to remove, I'll remove it. Then there is another option called duplicate. What if I click on duplicate here? If I select this one and click on duplicate means it will generally create a duplicate line with the same main account, same dimension values combination. Okay, suppose here I have different conditions for, I mean, both of them are having same conditions. Still, it is saying that there is a overlap. So here the account is overlapping with the same account. Even though you have same conditions, but there is a overlap of lines, right? So system will not allow the overlap of lines. We should have one main account in one line only. And suppose if I remove this, yes, okay. And I'll create, I mean, everything is removed now. Fine, then I'll also remove this and I'll create once again. It's okay. See, I have 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999 condition now. I'm creating another line and I'm selecting one of the account that falls into this range from 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999. So suppose I'll select this 3 lakh account here. So that is already in this range, within this range, right? But again, I'm selecting a separate account. So in that case, system will not allow me. So it will overlap actually. So how to know it is overlapped? I can click on validate. So when I validate, system will throw this error message. The row with main account overlaps with the row with this account. So this 3 lakhs is already selected in this range, falls in this range of accounts. So again, I have created this 3 lakhs, right? So it will not allow me. I can't do it like this. So I have to remove it. See, this warning message clearly indicates that one only. So that's how system functions. My range here starts from 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999, 4 lakh 99,999, which means all the accounts starting from 1 lakh to this account will be having these conditions here. So now I'm creating another line and selecting one of the account that falls into this range already. So this 3 lakh account will already falls into this range, right? So it starts from 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999. So all the accounts will fall into this range. So here I have selected separately this 3 lakh account and trying to create another condition. Suppose I'll create this 201 condition here. And now if at all I want to save it or activate it, system will not allow. Before system allows, I can check if there is any overlap like this. So I can click on validate here. System says that this account with 3 lakh is overlaps with this row because in this row already 3 lakhs will be selected because here we have a range of accounts, right? So in this range already 3 lakhs is there. So you cannot create another one separately with different conditions. Even though with same conditions, you cannot create any. we cannot create another line separately because it is overlapping. Understood? I can use this condition for validation. Then add segment condition is again for adding these segments, adding the one of the financial dimensions if you want any of them. So another one option I have is segment actions here. Segment actions means to remove this segment from the dimension in this account structure or to move this financial dimension to the left or right. Suppose if I select this department, if I want to move it to the left hand side, I can click here. I can click on move MRF department to left. So it will move to the left. If I click again to move it to the right, and it will move to the right. So according to the arrangement that you have done here, you can see that in the journal. Suppose in this journal, if I select this account, I can see first business unit and then department, right? So I have configured it accordingly in my account structure to have business unit first in the sequence and department in the next in for this USMF. So in this sequence only it is showing. Suppose for our legal entity MRF, it will show as main account first, location next, department next, and cost center next. So that's the sequence we have given here. Location, department, and cost center. It will show in the same manner. So if I want to remove this from this account structure, I can click on delete and it will disappear from here. So that's one way I have. So I don't want to remove this, so I'm not removing it. And I can give some active from and active to date for this particular line of account structure. If I want to give any, I can give. After this active to date, it will become inactive again. And I have to come back and remove the date or change the conditions if there are any. If at all I keep a condition to change that, I mean I keep a date range, I mean date specific date to for some purpose. So after that date is expired, system will inactive the account structure line, and this is not applicable again, or you cannot use this account or this dimensions, I mean this accounts on any of these main accounts for your transaction purpose. Its system will not allow because it will become inactive. So most rarely people will use this account active from and active to. Not most of them will not at all use this dates again in the account structure, because account structure should be always active to create any transactions or post transactions or run the regular process activities. Without account structure being active, you cannot do anything. So that's one point, or that's with this menu. And I can see here it is in draft status. So this account structure can be used only when it is in active structure. So to activate it, we have the option here to activate. We'll see that. Okay. So any doubt until here, until this part, creation of account structure and dividing the account structure, arranging them according to the range 5 lakh to 5 lakh 999. I'll give a different range, or I'll select here blank values are allowed. So here also I'll select blank values are allowed. Here also I'll select blank values are allowed. For this also I can select blank values are allowed. For this also I can remove and select star. So compulsory selection. Blank values are not allowed for this. If there is any overlapping, I can use this option. If there are 100 lines in account structure, for suppose, I can't find what are the 2 lines or 3 lines that are overlapping. I can't scroll down and see, right? So for that purpose, we have this option called show only overlapping rows. What it does is it will show me the rows that are overlapping. Suppose here I use the account again, the say 7,50,000 accounts, which is already in this accounts range. So system shows there is a overlap. So this account is already in this range of accounts, 7 lakhs to 7 lakh 999, right? So if at all I want to see only the rows with issue, I can click here and I can see the rows with issue, and I can fix this issue, and I can select this option again, show only rows with overlapping, and it will show everything. So I can fix the issue. I understood that this account is 2 times appearing here, which is already in this range, and again I have created into separately. So I will remove this separate one. So then the issue will disappear, and this will also will go. And then I can see the normal. This time I don't see any overlaps. I can see all the correct ones or the lines without any issues. That's here. The overlapping is only with main accounts, okay, not with dimension values. It's only with main accounts. Whenever the main accounts are created twice or selected twice, then it will overlap. So that's with this. Then we have this option. I mean, you can delete all of them if you want. I'll just remove all of them. I can create an account. I mean, I have already one line, right? So what I'll do is I'll give everything here itself. 1 lakh to 9 lakh 999. So every account will fall into the same condition. So I can give here blank values are allowed. Here I can give. Here I can give blank values are allowed. Here also I can give blank values are allowed. And I can I mean, I can activate this account structure. To use this, you have to activate it. Here I have. I can also rename this account structure. The name that we gave earlier is this one, right? I can rename this if I want to. Suppose I want to use only, I want to use two account structures, one for profit and loss and one for balance sheet as I for the previous example. For the profit and loss, I'll use all the three dimensions, but for balance sheet, I will use only two dimensions, location and department. So how we do that? Here I only give profit and loss account. So profit and loss starts from 5 series, right? From 5 lakh to suppose until 9 lakh 999, I'll give these conditions, okay? And I'll rename this as account MRF account structure, MRF account structure. So I'll give here MRF P&L account structure, okay? Just click on rename here. I see this name is changed, MRF P&L account structure, MRF P&L account structure. So these are only the P&L accounts, 5 lakh to all the remaining. Now I can activate this. I can also duplicate the account structure completely. Here we have this option of duplication of account structure, but we don't use this often because we normally create separate account structure for balance sheet, right? We'll usually create manually, okay? We don't have to use it. Then you can also use this validate option. It will entirely validate everything again. Normally here the validation and here the validation almost work as the same. Okay, I'll activate this one until then. So I can activate it here. It usually activates in the batch job only. It will not activate in the front end. So here if we activate in the front end, it may take some time. So I'll add the batch job. So it will run in the background automatically. So I'll click active here. So it is saying that it is added to batch queue. Now it is in activating status from draft status. Again, it will change to activate automatically activated. So we'll see that how it changes. So you can see it here. All of them are in active state. This one that we have created now is in activating state. Okay. So for profit and loss, we have created one. For balance sheet, we'll create one more account structure. So to create one more account structure, we have to again click on new here. I'll just give the name here as balance sheet account structure, MRF balance sheet account structure. I'll go with conditions. Give these details and click on create account. Main account is active. So whenever I click on main account is active, the main account segment will be added here. If not, the main account segment also will not be added here. If I say it as no, so it's always selected as yes only. So here, so we have to give the conditions for our balance sheet accounts, right? So what are our balance sheet accounts? It starts from 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999. So I'll give 4 lakh 999. Here I missed another dot. Okay, 1 lakh to 4 lakh 999 I gave. Then I said I only want two segments for my balance sheet accounts. So only location and department. So I can add them from here. Click on add segment. Click on the MRF location, add segment. Click on add segment again, select MRF department also and add. So whenever I use balance sheet accounts, I only want location and department only. Cost center will not show up in the journal at all. So here I see business unit and department, right? In the same way I see location and department. Cost center will not show up. So that's when we use balance sheet accounts. If at all I use profit and loss account, suppose, so this is another example. In another company, I'll select this one of the profit and loss account. Suppose I'll select one expense account. Okay, this purchase expense account. See, I see business unit, department, cost center, and item group all four dimension values here in USMF, because for USMF profit and loss account balance sheet they have four segments or four financial dimensions. But for balance sheet they only have business unit and department, only two. Cost center and item group are not applicable for balance sheet. In the same manner, for our MRF legal entity, whenever we do any transaction for our balance sheet account, we only see location and department, as we have given location and department here. But for profit and loss, we can see location, department, and cost center as well. So here for balance sheet account, we can't see cost center because we are not adding that segment. So that's how it works. I can activate this account structure also. This is in draft status now. To activate, we can click on activate here. Activate and click on activate. It will be added to batch and it is in activating status now. If I go back, I can see this PNL is already active. Activate అయిపోయింది. And this will be activating. It will take some time to get activated. And one more important thing, guys, whenever you make any changes in the account structure, whenever you open this, suppose if at all you click on edit here and make some changes, or if at all you click on edit, it will automatically change to draft. And when if you make any changes or may not make any changes, if you click on edit, it will change to draft. Suppose if you want to make any changes, you can make changes, and again you have to activate the account structure. Without activating the account structure, any transaction cannot be posted. You cannot use any of the main accounts here in this account structure and post any transaction. But if at all your balance sheet is active, and you can use the balance sheet accounts for posting transactions, but this P&L accounts, main accounts will not be active or will not be available for posting transactions without activating the account structure. So you have to activate the account structure once you make any changes in the account structure. This is key, remember. Okay, very important point to remember. And one more, you can add only 10 segments here. Other than main account, you can add 10 segments here, 10 financial dimensions only in the account structure. You can't add more than 10 in the account structure. So including main account, you will totally have 11 segments. So one main account will be compulsory anyway. Other than main account, you will have 10 financial dimensions only within account structure. You can add 10 only. More than 10, you cannot add. So now I'll also activate this one. Sorry for that. Since I have changed it to draft status, I have to activate. Now it will be activated. So I can go back, refresh this normally. So if I refresh this, where is this MRF? I can see here one is active, another one is activating, and it will get activated eventually. And you can see the structure here. Main account plus location plus department plus cost center. Here main account plus location plus department, only three. Here four. So remember these 2 points. So you have to definitely activate it. 1 point. Second point is you can only add a maximum of 10 financial dimensions. Total 11. One will be occupied by main account, and you can only add 10 financial dimensions here in account structure. For anything more, you have to create advanced rules.